Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew Gatton, and welcome to Invictus Racing League F1 Xbox. It's going to be a fantastic race. I know it's going to be fun. We're around Singapore tonight, and I know everybody is going to enjoy this. And before we get into the action, let me introduce my co-columnist for tonight, Mr. Fairmoso. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah. Yeah, it's a fairly enjoyable track, quite a lot of bendy corners, some quite strange ones to get right, but if you get them right, you make a lot of time up. Just gonna get everything set up for the stream just now so you guys can see everything that's happening on track. We've only got 10 drivers at the moment, hopefully a few more will hop in for the end of the qualifying session. We do have only about 10 minutes left to go. We've had a few issues tonight, small technical issues, but we are back and running with it. Before we get into the action tonight, let me just remind you that we are live here every Tuesday night. We've got one more race to go in the calendar. It's going to be good fun. We're going to be racing. Actually, I don't know where we're racing next. Do you know where we're racing? Oh my god. I actually think that's correct, yeah?
No, yeah, looking forward to it. That'll be a good track. And yeah, potentially we'll have the driver's title going down to Mexico as well, where constructors it's now been won by Ferrari. So yeah, DomThNoodle can potentially win the driver's title tonight. But yeah, I think he'll need a bit of luck personally if he's to win it in Singapore.
Yeah, he's got to kind of get out on the right side of a lot of the drivers here. I mean, it's no question that these drivers are fast, but DomThNoodle's just tended to come out on top when other drivers weren't on their game. And I'll tell you that now, and I think PSR Harry is the only driver this season to have successfully done as well as he has. I think, was it 100% podium rate this season?
Yeah, correct. I mean, to be fair, he hasn't made every race Pierce or Harry, but yeah, when he has, he's either came first or came second. So yeah, I'd hate to see what a bad day is like for Pierce or Harry. I don't think he has any bad days. Yeah, his driving has been another level. Definitely, I believe he's one of the quickest we have in Invictus Racing League, and yeah, it's a good target for all the other drivers to go up against.
Damn right, he is just a rocket ship out there. But hitting the ground off running is MC Decoder on the soft compound tyres at the moment. I wonder, did he set his tyres? Yeah, it was on the soft tyres. He went a 136.7. It's not a bad start to the session for the Williams driver. He done pretty well last week. I mean, can he carry it on for this week after Spain? I'm sure he will give it his best shot. But before we get into all of the action tonight, I just want to remind you of our sponsors for the stream. We are sponsored by GT Omega, giving you all of your driving needs for the simulator and the sport that we all love. We also are sponsored by Grid Finder and Driver 61, helping you get on your feet when it comes to league racing and helping you learn tracks, driving styles, and also making sure that you get the most out of all your equipment and your abilities. So we're going to push on. It does look like IRL Mats is on a push lap just now, so actually on his out lap. I do apologise, but he is on the medium tyres. This can be quite interesting.
Yeah, if it was me, I would prefer to go on the mediums tonight. I've raced here before in Singapore. It is a tyre kill and a half. I think the only fair way to put it is a hot knife through butter. Really, it is a tyre killer. You want to try and pull off a one stop if you can. The only way to do that, you need to start in the medium. There's no other way you can do it. A soft tyre, forget it. It's, you know, unless you've got like a one lap dash to the end, like we saw in Abu Dhabi a few days ago. I don't think you want to go near that soft compound tonight.
That is true, and I mean, soft compound being the softer compound of tyres as well, the C4, it's not the best way to look at it, because, I mean, we're one grade higher than what we would be in Bahrain, I believe, where we run the C3 compound as tyre as the soft, but overall, we've got a lot of drivers pushing out on those medium tyres, and Botch Gerbil going on a 136.6 on the medium compound in the Ferrari there. So, I mean, that just demonstrates his prowess coming into this race. He's definitely got this one to look forward to.
But we've got Pierce or Harry going purple and start to 1. I think it is fair to say Harry is quicker than Gerbil, at least at the moment, so I'll stay on board with Harry for the remainder of the lap, but yeah, I need to be honest, I think this could be quicker than Gerbil. Can maybe get a low 36, definitely, it's looking quite tidy.
Definitely, he is kind of pushing hard at the moment to get through, it seems. He's purple sector 2, so I mean that is very quick. Is he going to take pole coming 5 minutes before the end of qualifying, or are we going to have to wait and see if he can do another lap?
Yeah, I mean, with the medium compound, you can do another hot lap if you want. It isn't ideal, but you can if you want to. It is an option if you do feel you can improve.
He's going to try and come round the second to last corner into the finishing line. He does take pole by about 0.5 of a second. That is insane. From PSR Harry, taking pole, provisional pole at the moment at 136.183. Botch Gerbil about 0.5 down, as we say, so I mean, he could potentially run again, but it depends on if he wants to get those medium tyres back out there or not.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can do another lap on mediums if you want. They will be a wee bit more worn in, but at the same time that might make you a wee bit quicker. With a medium compound, it does take a wee bit of time before that tyre does bed in, so maybe you can get away with another hot lap, but I definitely wouldn't want to do more than that.
That is very true. Ferimoto, I think we're looking at Raza 410 at the moment on his outlap. He is trying to go on the soft tyre, which is quite interesting. I definitely can say that much. And Nathan HRX is on a push lap at the moment on 1 lap old mediums, it would seem like. So he's gonna be well off the time at the moment, but he'll probably try again. Oh, he's gonna pit. I think he's actually put himself in low fuel mode.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to see. Some Pikachu coming out of the pits as well to try and get that last bit of racing in. Would be the same way, racing, qualifying before the end.
MC Coda at mediums as well. Imagine nearly every driver bet on medium.
That's the interesting thing about this, is that I've tried to qualify in the mediums here, it just wasn't quick enough, which was kind of annoying. I'd have loved to be a little bit quicker than some of the drivers, but that's the way. I'll try and see if I can get him in real quick.
One driver I've not talked about yet, Liverpool Ewan. Liverpool Ewan is a serial killer when it comes to qualifying. He has 10 pole positions in total for IRL. It'd be a good achievement if he could make it 11 tonight. He does have an outside chance of defending his driver's title, but you know, you can't help but feeling, you know, Ewan, he wasn't at his best at the start of the season. He did come on quite well, but ultimately he might feel it's one that got away from him. You know, he has closed the gap down to Gerbil, but you know, it's too late in the season for that. But you never know, don't write him off until a checker flag comes out. Starting a lap now, Ewan.
We're just watching MCD Coder as he's coming through Sector 2. He is on a push, but that could be interesting. I'm going to jump on with Liverpool Ewan. Now, it is safe to say that Liverpool Ewan is one of the quickest drivers around this track that I've ever seen. So, I mean, the interesting thing is to see if the AlphaTauri driver can push for a little bit more. Really using all the curves. I mean, that just shows the good pace he has. Raza 410 on the soft compounded tyres, a 136.068. I mean, from what can considerably be the second driver for Ferrari this season in terms of podiums and such, he has actually went on the alternate strategy to what Botch Gerbil would want. So, looking at that, this is only 2 drivers have set laps faster than their medium tyres on the softs. Raza 410 and C-Russ.
Yeah,
Quite
on board.
interesting to see this though.
On board with Liverpool Ewan, he's in the final sector now. He's looking quick, maybe a wee bit untidy. He's coming into the penultimate corner now. The Mickey Mouse chicane, I like to refer to it as. Langs it right up to the wall, coming into the final corner, down to 5th gear, power on, can he beat Harry? Ah, he does. Not even half a tenth. That's a good effort from Ewan. 136.140. Very good lap. Only not even a tenth away from pole. And he did look a wee bit untidy in sector 3, so you never know, that might have been pole for Ewan. What an effort that would have been if he did get pole on mediums.
Now that is something to be saying of, but Botch Gerbil is out on soft tyres as well. He's going to start his lap. He's got 11 seconds to line. Obviously, that line is just on the outside, so he needs to be able to push for a 136 low. He actually needs to be able to push into the 135s to get pole. In reality here, can he take it off his teammate? That is the one thing we need to talk about, because I don't know. He is definitely quick, but is he capable of pushing that 135 margin coming in to the end of the laps here?
Yeah,
That's the fastest sector 1.
I would believe Gerbil on a clean lap can probably get into 35s, but on board with PS or Harry again, he's half a tenth up after sector 1, so you never know. Harry might even get into 35s. He's looking very quick again. He's
good line.
Coming to end of sector 2. He's 3 tenths up PS or Harry. This might be pole 100.
He is pushing hard. Considerable hard charging from the Haas driver.
If he can get pole on mediums, at what point do you wave the white flag if you're starting a soft? You know, it really would be game over.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, that's the end for quite a few drivers
Final
in
corner.
that sense. But is it going to be pole?
Oh!
It is! A
Well
135.833 there from PSR Harry to take provisional pole at the moment.
Gerbil
Can
pits.
Botch Gerbil match?
No.
He's actually pitting. So there we go. That's the end. That is the end of qualifying. PSR Harry taking pole position here at Singapore in Invictus Racing League Xbox F1. And I mean, that just shows overall the confidence and pace that PSR Harry has. And it's just going to be carried out throughout a lot of the driving that happens here today. Raza 410, he's starting up alongside him. Liverpool Ewan in the second row of the grid, with MCD Coder going to be also on that second row. Botch Gerbil starting third row.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about it. Did Botch Gerbil do anything backing out of that qualifying lap? He was going to improve by 8 tenths, so he probably would have been either P1 or P2, but then he would have been on a soft tyre, so I don't know, I mean, he would have been up at the front, but then at the same time, he would have been on a soft compound tyre, so I don't know about you, Andrew, but yeah, I think Botch Gerbil, he did pick the lesser of two evils there, so to put it.
Yeah, exactly, and it doesn't help that his teammate also was going to be starting on the softs, so it meant that we're going to have to pit very close together, and it could have hampered both of their strategies. So I think Botch Gerbil starting on the medium tyres is the right thing for him to do for this Grand Prix. But let's just get into talking about everything that we have to offer here at Invictus Racing League. If I can get my whole list up. If it's going to load. I love this. I say those things and I don't have it available. But I will have it available in just 2 seconds because I've got it here. There we go. 2, 1. Here it is, your Invictus weekly schedule. If you guys already know this, cover your ears, because it's going to happen again. PS F1 is live on Mondays at 8 PM, streamed by Webbo and Lightning. PS F2 is streamed on Tuesdays, exactly the same time as us, on the YouTube channel, with F1 WWFC, also known as Malk, and Livingwall. We've also got us, our lovely voices, on a Tuesday night as well. You can always catch us live on Twitch. You've also got PS F3 live at Wednesday nights at 8, streamed by JPH99. We've also got PC F1 on Wednesday nights at 8 PM, streamed by Cameron and Fozzy on YouTube. Absolutely love their work. They're fantastic commentators. And also PS RP on Thursdays at 8 GMT, also known as PM for everyone that's watching this, streamed by Tim and Mal over on YouTube. We're getting lined up on the grid, getting ready to race just now on the grid in... Is Keith there? Yeah, you are there. Definitely. And I think overall, with the pace that some of these drivers show, this race is not going to last very long. These guys are quick. I mean, it's 31 laps, but... It is a street track, so... It does look like Joey's just moved off the grid just now, but he's left the session as well. I don't know what's going on, and hopefully he joins back, because it doesn't help anybody, unfortunately. I can't really do much myself right now, but... PSR Harry, I mean, his record is just untarnished this season. I mean, firsts and seconds, every race he's taken part in. And, I mean, Botch Gerbil starting P5 on the third row of the grid is not going to help. But he is on the mediums, so it makes it a bit easier for him to push harder out there. I mean, we'll see how it goes as we get ready and set up to start the grid here at Singapore. Yes, Marina, as people would say. Why is the camera doing circles? The guy is not very stable. We've actually got to wait for Joey, as his AI has decided to take the round with him. So we'll just watch Joey as he goes round. He's about half a lap away. But, yeah, I mean, I've got every faith in the drivers tonight to keep this clean, to drive it fast, and I think overall it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Seagulls in chat saying Joey has some technical issues. Well, that's alright, it's not a problem. He will be hopefully here by the start of the race. He won't be able to join into his car until the race start, but hopefully we can get going. But yeah, Feramoto, it's amazing to be back in the comms box with you. Let it be on a little bit of short notice, but I am here and you're here, and it makes everything so much better knowing that we are getting ready to race right now. As there's a car. What is going on? Yeah, the game's just had a hissy fit. Yeah, so C. Russ decided he was going to spin sideways. Yeah. Yeah, I will hopefully come out now. Or has the game decided it's had enough? Right, I will join off of you, Keith, when you're in, and then we'll be ready to go. Are you in? Perfect. It is technical issues, and now somehow we're watching all the racing unfold. Because C. Russ is not watching the chat, it seems. He's racing this race himself. Oh, and there's cars spinning everywhere. Yeah, he's now left now. There we go. JV29X as well was also in there. He spun round sideways. Oh. Oh, they always do. Been out for over a year now. This has been out for about 6 months, and then 2020 has been out for a year and a half, and they've still got glitches in that game as well. They know how to make a good game. Right, hopefully. Alright, let's get in here. I was about to start my my ad lib in there. Start talking, you know, about all our advertisements, but I think I can do that now. This is Invictus Racing League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver 61, and Grid Finder. I mean, we'll wait for everybody to get back in the lobby after that eventful start. And yeah, and hopefully it doesn't take too long to get in. Ah, good fun. Yeah, hopefully, and I mean, I'm just watching as everybody rejoins. Got a few drivers in that can definitely challenge for some high points tonight, and yeah, need to see how it goes, especially for Mr. IRL Mats. I mean, he was comfortable in qualifying. He wasn't too fast, but he wasn't too slow. He always seems to be within that kind of sweet spot where, I mean, he was doing so well last time we were in the Netherlands, and then something just went all wrong for him. So we'll just see how it all goes, and he was definitely my driver of the day that night. I remember that. Just drove a champion's drive. So do you reckon tonight he's going to be sitting playing Super Max in the background the whole time he's racing, or is that... yeah, the result of Sunday's epicness. Just a little bit. Exactly, now we're just waiting for the go-ahead to go. I'm hoping that it won't take too long. But on that side of things, one driver we haven't talked about tonight, Jamie29X. He's not had the best of luck this season, has he? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna say... I was there that night in Austin, Texas, where he was actually on track to get his very first podium. And then it bottled for him, right in front of his eyes. And it was the first night I commentated with Matty, and that's the sad thing is, on that night, I always think of being able to commentate with one of my best friends. I also think back to the fact that Jamie, yeah, but we love him, and we always got his back here at Invictus, and no matter what, it is time to go. It looks like. I mean, let's just look at it. Bot's durable. I mean, he will be starting P5. I mean, he's not. I think we already said stuff about him starting on the third row of the grid. It's not exactly the most ideal position, even though he will be starting, I think, on the outside row. You just need to hope that bowling balls don't come flying from behind and just, yeah, dive bomb into T1. I mean, it's not Baku, but, I mean, I've seen worse, especially at Singapore. Last time I raced around Singapore, I somehow ended up on top of my teammate. So I've ended up everywhere. Like, I'm gonna say this, last night I raced, I somehow in Baku end up on my roof on the second straight. There's no roof to these cars, but you can get the idea. I was upside down on a barrier. So, you know, these cars aren't meant to flip. The physics in this game stop them from flipping even more. But somehow I still ended up... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to cause too much damage to the scenery around. I've now just got this image in my head of trying to get an F1 car to start on the roof, and like on the roof of something, and it just, they let it go and it just drops. There's millions and millions of dollars down the drain. But I mean, yeah, God, we've got to keep ourselves happy and entertained here in the intermission. Hello, Chloe. Sorry, Chloe's in the chat. Oh yeah, he would just quit now, in my opinion. It isn't Dom tonight, Chloe. It is Mr. Fairmoto. I do apologize. Yeah, it is. I agree. All it takes is for PSR Harry to make a mistake. and the whole race is now wide open. So, I mean, that's the way it is, and I think that's how it's going to stay. But yeah, carry on. Yeah, so he's pretty much got to win this race, and the other two not score points, and then the next race for none of them to score points, and he was to win again, pretty much within that region. But yeah, looking at everything. Hello, chat. Hope we're doing okay. Mama McKinnon's in the chat as well. I hope Will's doing okay tonight. I haven't spoken to him today, but I know that he is enjoying a couple of days to chill out. But on top of that, hopefully we can go. I mean, we've been sitting in the start screen for a wee while now, and kind of want to start getting going. But it's not a place you want to be sitting on the grid for too long, you know. I have a friend that went to Singapore, and it's because he was on a trip to. He was going to see his family. He's from Indonesia, and he went to Singapore for a few nights. I think he was staying around the kind of capital area anyway, just on the outskirts. And he just said to me that how amazing it is to see the landscape that they've created for themselves around that area. But at the same time, it's quite a very warm place to be, especially if you go into the major cities. It's not good because you just can't get a blast of wind to keep you going. Did I just see a car go off? Surely I didn't. There's no car that's gone off. It was just me. Yeah, I don't think that would very much help your race. See Russ on the softs. Lots Gerbil, obviously starting on the mediums. MCD Coder also on the mediums. Liverpool Ewan on mediums. Raza 410 on the softs. And PSR Harry on the mediums. And that is your top 6 drivers there. I mean, already PSR Harry's just had enough. He just wants to get to the grid and get going. Well, that's good. I mean, we're going to see a few battles tonight, I can see. I mean, Raza 410 obviously starting alongside PSR Harry. It's going to give Harry something to think about. And then also Liverpool Ewan and MCD Coder as well. Coder obviously having a really good race last week and now really high up on the racing standard there as well. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes during the race. PSR Harry already just aggressively weaving the tyres. I found something out about that. This is the only game now that should be able to do that and warm your tyres up, because when you've got colder tyres and you start rubbing them left and right, I mean, you look at physics, it actually starts ripping the tyres apart. It doesn't warm them, it rips them apart. It was quite interesting. I was in ACC today and everybody was doing it. I'm like, you're ripping your tyres apart, boys, stop. lights out. That's the 5, and it's off. Good start there from Raza 410. PSR Harry getting off strongly on the start, but Liverpool Ewan holding off position. It does look like IRL Mats tried to have a lunge there into turn 1 on Botched Gerbil, but he's still managed to come out on top. IRL Mats now losing position to C-Russ coming into the corner. C-Russ still holding on to IRL Mats. It doesn't take much in these streets to end up in a wall, so they have to be very careful, especially on, slightly newer tyres with a colder surface to them after sitting for a few seconds. They do cool down. You don't want to end up in a wall. MC Decoder still 4th. Liverpool Ewan really starting to struggle a little bit. MC Decoder is all over the back, and Botched Gerbil is there with him. PSR Harry already 0.5 up. Definitely not. He was just hoping for a good result tonight, and it's just not gone his way. Oh, big clatter of the wall there for Raza 410. I heard it, and I felt it. I think he's okay. He's got quite a lot of turn-in still. I think he's got more of a chance of breaking a wheel the next time he hits that wall, though. Definitely weakening some components of the car. They're not meant to hit walls at that speed. They're not even meant to hit the walls at all. Liverpool Ewan still right there. Raza 410 dropped about a second down now. And JB29X is retired for the session, unfortunately. It's definitely not been the best few races for him. He's not managed to pick up much from them. But Liverpool Ewan actually catching a bit of understeer through those corners. He's not got the best setup, it would seem, when he's following another car, especially with Raza 410. Now 1.3 down, Liverpool Ewan will want to get past him. It's just one of those things. Definitely, also on top of that, Gerbil is still going to be stuck behind Coder until he can get DRS. He needs to be able to start making those moves, but as long as Coder has DRS, it's going to make Botched Gerbil's life a living hell. He's going to want to get past. As you can see there, predicted tire strategies, you can go hards and mediums, or mediums to hards, and you can do the 2-stop, but I know that you can potentially run the softs on the 2-stop if you're really careful enough. Let's see how that goes. He is looking though. He is hunting down for that position. Looking at MC Decoder though, he is now only 0.2 away from overtaking Liverpool Ewan. There's not much in this at the moment. If we can get onto a DRS straight, drag system reduction, that's what I was trying to say there. But, Botched Gerbil is also going to have DRS. D-Russ, however, isn't. He's going to be under pressure from Nathan HRX, who's had a really bad exit out of the hairpin. Look at that. Nathan HRX is just so much stronger in the braking zones than C-Russ at the moment. But still nothing of help to these guys. How it's sitting embedded in the ground. I want to now crash on top of it. I mean, Ewan is hunting. And I mean, MCD Coder's right there. He knows he needs to try and get past Raza. Otherwise, he's going to be under threat from Coder. That is crazy. I mean, we can't see Gerbil and Raza fighting for position, so as long as Bots Gerbil can hold on to MC Decoder, which he's just doing right now, then it could potentially mean that Gerbil will get past Coder, and then Raza will just let him by. So that could be the interesting thing, but they need to make sure it's done safely and without the chance of Coder getting by. That's the interesting thing as well, is if Gerbil goes through, Coder will try and stick with him because he knows that'll happen. IRL Mats making moves on C-Russ and Nathan HRX in the back there. It looked like IRL Mats actually made a double move in that last lap on C-Russ and Nathan. But these guys really pushing hard to find position. Very hard push in there from IRL Mats. Nearly ends up in the wall. But C-Russ now in the pits on those soft tyres. Starting to realise they are now dead a little bit. And he gets a penalty, is it? Is that a penalty for him? That is not good. But he's got onto the mediums. So he's going to go for a 2-stop. Which is very interesting, but it can be done. Lucky right now chasing Nathan HRX. Bloodhound gonna make the move down into the corner. What a fantastic move there by Lucky Doo. Now he's also made an issue there. Nathan HRX now having to defend from Som Pikachu going round the outside of him in that corner. Nathan's just losing positions now. That's not going to be good for his position in the championship. Lucky Doo and Som Pikachu getting by. Nathan HRX down in 9th. Joey is also there looking to make a move at some point as well. So definitely not going to be helpful for the Alpine driver at all as those soft tyres start to wear down. Watch Gerbil still looking. That is very true. I mean, we did predict that the Ferraris are going to work together on this championship. They've already got the constructors, but can they take the drivers' championship as well as Bots Gerbil? Liverpool Ewan right now is only 5 seconds behind Harry, but that's still no good news to hear for Liverpool Ewan. He's going to be wanting to try and pace down PSR Harry to get in the front of him, but I don't think that can happen anytime soon. That is very true, and we're looking as Bots Gerbil has that DRS enabled on MC Decoder, but he didn't have a very good exit. I mean, he's the only one that has the DRS. Liverpool Ewan doesn't have any, and nor does MC Decoder. IRL Mats now in a position where he's up into 5th place on the medium tyres. I mean, that's working out for him so far. definitely. And I mean, when we look at Som Pikachu as well, he's actually looking on looky-doo now to make a move. Both of those guys diving past Nathan HRX when he had to pit. So that's all our soft tyre runners now pitted for fresh tyres. Raza 410 went in at the end of last lap and is now back out on track. He's 15 seconds behind Joey at the moment. So that's worked out reasonably well for him. Could potentially run those tyres to the end. I mean, we need to have a look what tyres he's on. He is on the medium, so he's not going to be able to get them to the end. But he will be able to get a pit stop, I would assume, on getting another softs for the end. PSR Harry, 6 seconds ahead of Liverpool Ewan. I mean, what else is there to say about this guy? And I mean, I feel bad not mentioning his name all the time, but I mean, what else am I meant to say? There's no action, he's gone. Oh. He's actually okay. He might have a bit of damage internally on the car for the front wing components, but I don't think nothing serious. He could keep going. I mean, it just potentially he just overpushed the corner. He was by himself pretty much. There was nobody around him. He wasn't anywhere near a back marker. And Nathan HRX is round. I just saw that. He spun round at the bottom of the hairpin, and it's not went very well for him. That's definitely not what he's wanted. He's probably lost about 4 or 5 seconds overall, but PSR Harry now 9 seconds ahead. But oh, blocking the pit lane. Somebody's getting a penalty for that. That's not going to be good. I wonder if he spun out. Either way, it's Codemasters. It's Codemasters, and I mean, we'll never be able to know fully what they were thinking when they added all of the penalties they did to the game. But overall, Bots Gerbil is now only 0.2 behind MC Decoder, and MC Decoder in front of him is kind of in a position right now where he's got no help. He has no assistance. Bots Gerbil has him all to himself. It's just going to be a pure straight-on fight to see who's going to be the better driver here. If Bots Gerbil can get into second, that is going to be a good one. But Harry won't have a chance of winning the title, or Bots Gerbil either, until next week on the decider. Just watched IRL Mats. IRL Mats is in the pits. He's put on the hard tyres. He also had a front nose change, so I'm wondering if he's just pinged into the wall when we were chatting there. But Bots Gerbil, as you say, is now in ahead of MC Decoder, and Decoder is in a position right now where, I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, he's now got to attack. There's already 0.7 between them, so Bots Gerbil's just been waiting for this moment the longest time. Exactly, and I mean, Harry's not necessarily too far ahead up the road. He's only about 8 seconds. That's about 2 corners worth on this track. So, I mean, overall, there's not much left. I mean, look at that pace. PSR Harry overall, he's actually going slower than Botch Gerbil right now. Botch Gerbil's lapping around about just faster and no more. But, I mean, that's now Botch Gerbil broken that DRS from MCD Coder. And we're going to see those guys push up the track a little bit. Another driver that's doing pretty well at the moment, Son Pikachu. He's kept it out of the wall and he's on the medium tyres still. He's quite comfortable right now, isn't he? Definitely. I mean, Son Pikachu as well. He's not necessarily too far behind, but he actually had a little bit of a lock up there, so he's definitely pushing quite hard. Oh! We just watched C-Rush just slap the wall as he exited that corner. That's not going to be good for him, but either way, we'll see how it all runs. I mean, what's Gerbil? He's definitely starting to lose time now to PSR Harry. PSR Harry's realised and is now 9 seconds ahead at this point. He's only 0.5 a lap faster that lap though, so I mean, it's quite an interesting way to talk about it, isn't it, Keith? I mean, we're looking at Botch Gerbil right now, but he's not got that much of a chance. But Liverpool Ewan, however, is making moves on the hard tyres. Nathan HRX in front of him. He's got DRS. He's the only one right now that actually has DRS on the track. So it'd be nice to see where he ends up at the end of this, after having that nasty wee spin over Anderson. And we'll see how that runs. Nah, you're funny. It's twice you've used that joke on me now. God damn it. Yeah, just like I won't remember parade lap. Oh, Nathan HRX actually letting him by. I mean, fair enough, but I wanted to see some racing. IRL Mats is the first of the back markers at the moment as PSR Harry storms by. But he's back out of the pits again. We're staring at the floor. Joey right now starting to understeer a little bit from his medium tyres. He is up in 4th position at the moment, but Botch Gerbil and Raza 410 have both made their pit stops. And do you know something? Raza's actually come out ahead of Botch Gerbil after his pit stop. So Raza has been more successful in that sense of getting into the pits and dealing with the issue. Raza should technically still have a good few laps left on those medium tyres of good raw pace. Botch Gerbil, his is going to take about a few laps to speed up a bit. So the two teammates, again, might have to work together here in a few laps to let each other by at different points. I mean, it could be worth even just Raza slowing down a tiny bit and letting Botch Gerbil get the DRS. But we'll see how that runs. Definitely, and I mean, as well as that, PSR Harry's hunting him down. So, that's going to be a difficult one to call. Raza 410, 5 seconds back from PSR Harry. So that means that actually, Botch Gerbil has gained time, but it's a very minute amount on PSR Harry by pitting earlier. Watching Raza 410, we're on board with him at the moment. Doing reasonably well at maintaining the oversteer and understeer of the car. You know, he is going to have to pit again. Botch Gerbil? No, he's not. Unless he gets damage, he's going to be set to the end. And the same with PSR Harry. It's going to be a straight shootout between these two drivers. And I mean, PSR Harry's managed to make his tyres last one lap longer. So, let's see how that goes. Definitely, I mean, Son Pikachu just needs to hold his own. He could actually come to Botch Gerbil's aid here by making a battle out of PSR Harry, but every time I say that, PSR Harry just gets by. There is no battle. He finds a way, gets back on the first attempt, and then that's it. It's game over. But, looking at the front, Liverpool Ewan's going to make a move on Joey. He just misses out on the DRS straight there. But Joey's went deep, and Liverpool Ewan has a snap of oversteer, trying to correct the car coming out of the corner. He's going to want DRS right now. It's going to be a very close run down the line here. Is he going to get in front before the corner? And he does. That was a really nice and clean move there from Ewan. Good work, to say the least. I'll say as well, that incident also has helped Nathan HRX. Obviously, Nathan HRX had about DRS for another lap and a half after he was overtaken. So that's definitely helped his pace. And he's not too far behind Joey himself, so he could be challenging Joey for position very soon. Botch Gerbil, only 1.5 seconds behind his teammate now. It just means that his tyres are starting to come into their own. And Raza's tyres are starting to have a little bit of a hissy fit at him. Potentially could be overheating here. Even though this race is in the night, the track surface can still reach of about 35 to 36 degrees centigrade. So it doesn't necessarily make anything better. So Joey and Ewan are having a fight. I want to say this now. Joey has made a move past Liverpool Ewan, and Liverpool Ewan has made a mistake, which has cost that even more. Has he got a front wing? I think he's got damage. Liverpool Ewan's got damage. He's got no left end plate to the front of his car. He's going to have to let Nathan HRX by so that he doesn't impede his race. That is such a shame for Ewan. That is not good at all. They're gonna be screaming at him. I mean, you can just look at the tires. I mean, there's no shine to them anymore. There's nothing on them. It's coming down to the carcass. They're gonna be overheating. There is gonna be nothing left of them. He's gonna have to try and defend with his life as PSR Harry's coming down the inside. Oh, that was a nicely done move. He actually locked up a little bit there and went deep. Som Pikachu could get back through here, but it's just not going to happen just yet. And I think that's the move done. Oh, Liverpool Ewan gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that is it. It's over. That's a shame from Liverpool Ewan. It was exactly, as we see Som Pikachu now 1.7 seconds down for PSR Harry within a lap. He needs to pit now. He needs to get off of those tyres if he wants to call it that. And it's an interesting thing to say, because if he stays out any longer, he's at risk of losing a few positions to Joey and Cirrus, and potentially Nathan HRX, who's not too far behind either. So he's not even pitted yet. He's staying out one more lap. Is he crazy? He is crazy. I mean, I generally think he could be dangerous. It won't work time-wise. I mean, you can see right now he's already 3 seconds down on PSR Harry. I mean, yes, there's a slight pace difference between them, but there's not much within a lap. And that tyre difference, and the fact that PSR Harry is on hard tyres as well, it just shows he does need to pit. I mean, he's 3.3 down. He's lost 3 attempts within 3 corners there, so there's not much you can really say now. He needs to pit, get off the tyres, and potentially get... I mean, it's going to be difficult because now he's only... If he wants to go soft, he's going to have to go soft. And that's not going to help him at all right here. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad strategy, but his teammate Cirrus has got the right idea. You know, on the medium compound tyres, and then potentially push onto the softs towards the end. I mean, that's soft, medium, soft is probably the only way you can really run the soft tyres around here, with it being effective. But you know, he's made the mediums work so far. He's P6, and Joey, you know, on the hard tyres, he's not going to have to pit again. Joey just has to get within 24 seconds of Cirrus, and then it'll be a race down the line for him. But yeah, looking back up the grid, Raza410's pitted. Has he got damage? I don't think he does. But he's... Oof. He'll be fine. Give him a few straights and he'll be okay. I do apologise, Cirrus, but... I mean, you put yourself at risk by being here, unfortunately. But either way, PSR Harry now 6 seconds up on Som Pikachu. I'm not going to say it again. strange strategy, but it's not working in terms of pace. Either way, Raza 410's back out of the pits. He's put on medium tyres. He'll manage to go to the end on them. From now, there's just, you know, about 13 laps left of racing here. So, you know, he'll manage 13 laps on mediums from here. That's the comfy. Oh, Sierra's in front, spinning again, and I think he's lost his front wing. Does look like he's still got it though. Come on, show me the front wing. Has he got away with that? Oh, he's locked up as well. That's not going to help his tyres anymore either. What's happening? What's happening to him? Oh, no front wing, and that's went into Nathan HRX's face. Oh, and that's the wall. Oh, C-Russ. Oh, that was... I don't want to... Yeah. That was a very much intentional wreck, as such. That's not good to see. Never nice to see that. But it's a virtual safety car. It means that if anybody pits right now, they're only going to lose a small amount of time. They lose about 5 seconds less than they would. As actually, no, it's about 4 or 5 seconds less than they would if it was under normal racing conditions. And then if it's a normal safety car, they lose about 9 to 10 seconds. So that's virtual safety car's gone. They're back out on the track. Nathan HRX decided to go to the pits to get a new set of mediums in that time. So he's definitely not lost as much time, but he is still going to be on the back foot. He's 26 seconds down on Joey. And Joey's going to be able to go to the end. Either way, Raza 410 climbing curbs. Let's see how this goes. He's going to try that soft tyre run. You can manage about 8 laps on the soft tyre. I mean, he's not got long. He's got about 3 laps, really, of full pelt racing, but Botch Gerbil is going to try and make a move here. It's not going to be able to happen on this DRS straight. But Raza 410 kind of stuck behind Coder now. I mean, there's only 20 seconds between them, but he's going to try and have to get past Coder if he wants position on that podium tonight. I don't know how he's doing it. It's confusing me. I'm bedazzled. Like, how is he managing it? It's an Aston Martin as well. And Botch Gerbil's gonna look for a move. Ooh, that was close. He was gonna go for it, but I think he realised he got into the braking zone before he could make the move. It's not the first time somebody's decided they were gonna make a move while they were in the braking zone, but I mean, gotta be careful of it, and some people are. It's Gerbil right now. I mean, he's stuck behind him. That's definitely not going to help him because that's him coming into the pits now. That's 21 lap olds. I want to see that. 20 lap old mediums. Oh my god. I mean, 10 laps left on the soft tyre. I mean, go for it, my son. You're gonna do this. You've committed. Raza's just set fastest lap. He's definitely hard charging at the moment. He's taken about 2 seconds off of MCD Coder within that lap as well. I mean, that just shows the pace superiority between the mediums and the hards round here, you can make the strategy work. Watch Gerbil, however, 11 seconds down from PSR Harry. It's definitely not going to help him in the title fight, but all he needs to do next season is finish within the high points if PSR Harry wins, and he's got the championship. So he doesn't need to worry too much about being comfortable in that sense. There's 10 laps of racing roughly to go. It only means that Watch Gerbil has to just defend from MCD corner. That's all. He can't lose that position. If he does, he puts himself in risk next week. Some Pikachu's pushing hard too, so. Yeah. I mean, all it takes for Gerbil is a retirement. And we don't want that. Anyway, MCD Coder, however, he's actually gained a little bit on Botch Gerbil. Not much, though. It's quite a difficult one to watch and look at, Singapore, because we've got the drivers, they're all kind of decent, they're very close skill levels, but they're all on different strategies. So none of them are going to be really together until the last few laps of the race. So, I mean, we're starting to see the positions for the race come together now, because there's gaps. Pretty much half of the drivers right now are spread out over 15 to 17 second gaps. Raza 17 down from them, MC Joey, Nathan HRX, and Nathan and IRL Mats, all within 15 to 20 seconds of each other. And that's Raza out! Safety car! That is not going to be good. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When we look at the top three, they're now all in the pits. They're going to try and get on soft tyres. There we go. We can see that Botch Gerbil's put on the soft tyres. MC Decoder is putting on the soft tyres. PSR Harry, as well, is on the soft tyres. This has put them all together. Botch Gerbil cannot afford to be in a position right now where he's going to struggle. And I mean, some Pikachus went in to put another set of softs on as well, it seems. So, I mean, he knows, though, technically as well, Joey's going to want to come in, yet, which he is. And when we look at it, Nathan's coming in, and IRL Max is still in Sector 3. Who's going to be wanting to come in as well, I would assume, to get some fresh tyres on. So the grid's only just going to be bunched up, really. Nobody's going to change where they are. Overall, it's going to be a good run to the end, I think. But the annoying thing is, this safety car is going to be out for about 4 laps, because of how far apart everybody is. So yeah, we'll just keep you busy. I mean, once again, Invictus Racing League is brought to you by GT Omega, Driver 61 and Grid Finder. Make sure to check all those guys out for all your sim racing needs. And yeah, we'll get on with it. I mean, there's not really much to talk about other than how's your week been, Keith? Yeah, I'm sure it's been good. Definitely. I mean, I'm going to say this. I work in leisure, sport and leisure, and every day, as you say, dealing with the public always is a roller coaster. It's definitely, there's some days where I wish it could be over quicker. There's other days where I wish I was already home, and there's other days I actually enjoy being there. So, you know, I mean, the 1 and 2 sounded exactly the same. They're not, and the third one it happens quite a lot. So I can be very happy with my job, and I really do enjoy being part of making sure people are safe by doing their chosen activities. And that's what I chose to do for this part of my life anyway. But yeah, you mean overall, Assetto Corsa, something that I've been playing a lot of recently. Yeah, I want to. I want to do a little bit more with Assetto Corsa myself, but there's just nothing about an Xbox at the moment for it. And it's just. I think he's actually been hit. I saw a message coming up, someone got a penalty. I don't really like showing penalties, but it looks like we're going to have to. Yeah, DomThNoodle got a 5 seconds, and so did MCD Coder for an instance. I don't know if DomThNoodle spun him round. That was happened, but they're all on tyres of soft to the end. You can see the amount of stops they've done right there. Position changes are quite drastic. Some Pikachu up 9 in 3rd position there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it only takes a little bit. The interesting thing for me is when you look at MCD Coder, you've also got somebody like Some Pikachu, right? Who all he needs to do is just stick behind him and wait for his chance. But can he stick behind him and know that he'll get to the end? It depends. You know, and there's another. Who's hitting who now? I mean, that's the thing I want to know. He's not had the best of races, but overall, the pace he's shown today has definitely been something of a success for him, I would assume. Definitely, we're now waiting for a couple of the cars to fully bunch up. I think everybody is in the back. IRL Mats is pretty much there now. We just need to wait for that safety car to be called in. It will be called in very soon. It's quite interesting. I thought we had 2 safety cars for F1, but every time I see in the game a safety car comes out, it's always the Aston Martin. It's never any other car. It's never the Merc. I like the Merc. In racing terms, for like GT, I like the look of the Aston, but I think I've always been a fan of the Mercedes-Benz safety cars. And it's safety car in now, so PSR Harry is gone. He's waited for everyone to bunch up and make a fool of themselves, and he's already 0.6 up on Bot's Gerbil. Bot's Gerbil now in a position where he's already pushing away from Coder. I think he caught Bot's Gerbil out, and Bot's Gerbil caught Coder out. Son Pikachu, however, is on P4. He's holding on to the back of Coder. He just cannot make a mistake. Then he could potentially get in for that podium. So the 10 seconds penalties ahead for Coder are not going to help him at all when we've only got about 5 laps of racing left to go. Son Pikachu on tight. Joey just behind as well. I mean, Joey is actually dropping back a little bit from Son Pikachu, and Nathan HRX and IRL Mats are now, I mean, that's kind of saved IRL Mats, that safety car, hasn't it, Keith? I mean, he wasn't doing too well in terms of the gap that he had between the other cars. I mean, this has now put him in a position where he can actually race to the end with drivers around him. I think it goes two ways with me. I think if I'm fully in the game and ready to go with my head, I like being able to have some clear air in front of me to be able to carve out the track. But at the same time, that only lasts a certain amount of time, and then I lose my focus again. My mind wanders and then I lose that lap time. Then it's the way it is. I think you're always better battling, but at the same time it's as risky as it may be. Again, the longer you spend battling, the more impatient you may get and the more errors you may make. So that's the way I see it. I mean, today I made a few silly errors. Yeah, definitely makes you look about your racing skills if you do races back to back and stuff like that in public lobbies. And you realise where your skill is in some races, and then other races you try and apply that skill and other people just do it better. There's not much you can really do about it, but Bot's Gerbil right now is 1.3 seconds down from PSR Harry, but 1.7 seconds ahead of Coder. Coder's really struggling at the moment because Son Pikachu is right there. See how he does. The interesting thing is here is I don't think there's a DRS straight on the start finish, sir. It's not long enough. So it's down here. We see the first DRS straight round this corner. Can Son Pikachu get close enough to Coder to make a move? We're going to jump on board and see this move develop. MC Coder tries to squeeze a little bit. Nothing he can do. He's still there on the outside. They're still side by side. And Coder just manages to keep the position. That was really nice driving from Coder there. Definitely, and I think Son Pikachu had a little bit of a loss of grip coming out of that corner there. He had to let off power a little bit. Seems like Coder is finding the traction slightly better than Son Pikachu, but Son Pikachu obviously is still fast enough to hold on to Coder. I think at the same time, this battle can go on forever, and the changes of pace can matter. Son Pikachu, if he overtakes now, so MC Coder can hold on and wait for the last lap to make a lunge if he really wanted to. So that it can be quite dangerous, but either way on penalties, Son Pikachu still has P3. It's really worked out for him. That safety car came at the perfect time. It also caused Coder a headache as well with two 5-second penalties. But yeah, I mean, Son Pikachu now trying to go. Oh, he tries to switch back. It didn't work. He tried to switch sides to where he wants to go, but it seemed like Coder wasn't letting him have that one. Joey has no ERS deployment left. He's literally having to go lap by lap at the moment, corner by corner, picking up whatever energy he can, because Nathan HRX has about 25% battery and IRL Mats has about 35 to 40% in the tank. So I mean, it's still quite a change of heart in that sense. Nathan HRX can't get past Joey. Son Pikachu is still there. You know what? Yeah, Coder's also got penalties, as you know, and it's 10 seconds. Joey is only about 6 seconds behind Coder, so technically he could be P4. Oh, look at that dive, but they're side by side. How did Coder hold on to that? Oh. They were very close. Oh! He's a bit out of shape. As we see now, Son Pikachu kind of really trying his best to stay with MC Coder, and he actually has just outright paced him right now. After having that moment, he's still right there. So that shows that Coder's potentially struggling. He does have the DRS open. There is DRS here, I just didn't realise it. The interesting thing is, just needs to get this corner right. Oh, he kind of gets out of shape there from Coder. But Son Pikachu, he's going to try down the inside again. Can Coder defend? He's going to try, and they're going to go side by side once again. How is he managing that? I don't know. And Coder's letting him go. That was a good fight on track. I got to say, I mean, Coder just squeezed him a little too hard into the wall, but Son Pikachu technically winning that battle there to get into P3. Son Pikachu, this is going to be his first podium in Invictus Racing League. What a way to do it at the Singapore Street Circuit here. I mean, what a place to do it in general. Yas Marina is something else, but Botch Gerbil and PSR Harry still fighting for places, and it does look like PSR Harry is going to come out victorious in this one, as PSR Harry runs towards the line, 1.5 seconds ahead of Botch Gerbil. PSR Harry is going to be your winner for the Invictus Xbox F1 League at Singapore. Botch Gerbil not too far behind. He made some time up there in the last little bit. 1.4 seconds behind. Son Pikachu getting his very first podium in Invictus Racing League, finishing off in the third and final podium place for tonight. MC Decoder just missing out on that position, but Son Pikachu definitely gets driver of the day from me. Because there's not many drivers tonight, I'm only going to give one driver of the day, and he's definitely my driver of the day. How do you feel about that race there, Keith? That is very true, and that only leaves 12 points in the championship as we come to Mexico City next week. We're going to try and see, do you want to see if you can try and get Son Pikachu, PSR Harry and Botch Gerbil in for an interview? And we'll do the podium interviews very quickly, and we'll call it for the night. But once again, this is Invictus Racing League. Xbox F1 sponsored by GT Omega, Driver 61, and Grid Finder. So we've got Mr. Botch Gerbil joining us in the comms box just now. We're going to see if we can get Son Pikachu in for an interview.
Yeah, no, the other two have been invited.
We'll just wait a few seconds for them and we'll just start. I will leave the session. Harry. Just hope. I would love to chat with Son Pikachu about that. I think it's just amazing how he managed that today.
No, a real good battle between the two of them for a final podium.
So let's just start the podium interviews off with Mr. Botch Gerbil as always. Let's talk about that. I mean, that was a pretty good race from you. How did it go from your perspective?
Yeah, it was really good. A little tough start. I think I got stuck in traffic for a long time, and then after the pit stops and we were on the hards, I knew it was just an easy cruise to the end, and then the safety car threw a mix into it, and was gaining Harry pretty close at the end, but just not enough laps. But yeah, no, happy with P2 nonetheless. Makes the next race a little bit easier.
Definitely, and I mean, when you look at the overall gap now to the championship, I mean, you can win the championship next race if you finish second and PSR Harry finishes first. I mean, are you content with that chance that you can take next week?
Yeah, I think I have a pretty good shot. Just have to take it easy, make sure I don't get in any trouble, and hopefully have an incident-free race.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can ask. And one more question from me. I don't know if Keith has any for you, but how does it feel? I mean, you're so close, but yet I'm assuming it feels so far in a way, considering you have to wait another week to be crowned that champion.
Yeah, I'm not really thinking too much about the end. I just want to get through each race. Just moving on from week to week, making sure I do a little bit of practice, so I'm not too slow, because these guys are quick this year.
Definitely. Thank you very much for joining us in the comms box.
Thank you.
It was really nice to chat with you again. And race winner, since I think he is here. He is Mr. PSR Harry. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad. Bit of a stressful one, but yeah.
when is it not round Singapore? Now let's just talk about your strategy first. I mean, it worked. The medium hards definitely is just so effective around there, and yeah. How do you feel it went from your point of view?
It's a bit of an annoying one. You wouldn't know, but my batteries were constantly going, so I only have two sort of sets of batteries, so once these ran out, I'd switch, charge the next ones. I had to switch my batteries about 5 times that race. Once I was under the safety car, so I was losing. I lost like 2 seconds every time I was changing my batteries, and but I knew the medium hard was the strategy. I managed to get pole, so that was fine. Obviously, the batteries were annoying, and then it's just that safety car. It was almost sort of guaranteed to happen, so that was a bit annoying. But yeah, I managed to have enough pace to hold off, and I had to keep my tyres pretty cool at the end because you go for one sort of burner lap to stay ahead, and then you sit there sort of 3/4 pace just to cool your tyres down a bit.
Exactly. I think that sums it up for yourself. I mean, having battery problems when you're racing, that's never good fun. But yeah, let's talk a little bit as well. I mean, about the championship battle. You still have a chance of winning the championship next week. I mean, do you feel like that's something that you could potentially manage if?
In my opinion, it's at this point it's not really down to me anymore. It's kind of down to if the others want to sort of put in the race of their life, you know. Like it's kind of I need like Liverpool Ewan and whatnot to sort of have race of their life and put in a performance to sort of help me out here. I can back myself in the race, but it's kind of down to the others at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And one more question for me. You still keep your 100% podium streak in Invictus Racing League. When are you going to stop?
I don't know, to be honest. I've only got one more race left, Mexico. I don't think I've done a league race at Mexico. I've done laps on it, but I've done a league race. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
The track is dangerous, that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me in the comms box with Keith. I don't know if Keith's got anything to say to those drivers.
Yeah, no, well done to two of you. You know, I think it's fair to say you're a class of the field at the moment in IRL. So, yeah, well done, and yeah, looking forward to the finale next week in Mexico.
Definitely. Now that, unfortunately, concludes the stream for tonight in Invictus. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to give us a follow here on Twitch. And if you'd like to get involved in the action, go to InvictusRacingLeague.com to sign up and see if you're worthy of a seat in this championship. I've been Andrew Gatton, I've been joined by the wonderful Fairmoto, and I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you.